Ever get that nagging neck pain? The one you just can't seem to shake? Or maybe shoulders that feel, I don't know, like concrete after a long day hunched over the keyboard. Yeah, if that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're doing a deep dive into something cropping up more and more: office syndrome. So, our mission here is to take all those sources you shared with us about this pervasive issue. We want to really unpack what office syndrome actually is, what's causing it, how can you spot the signs, which are sometimes pretty surprising, and most importantly, what can you do about it? Practical stuff. We're aiming to get you up to speed, quickly but thoroughly, on something that might be quietly impacting your day-to-day.
And it's really more than just, being a bit uncomfortable or having a temporary ache. Understanding this now, knowing how to react, it's crucial because if you ignore it, well, the symptoms can definitely escalate. They can have pretty significant long-term effects on your health, your overall well-being. It's definitely something worth paying attention to.
Okay, let's get right into it then. When we talk about office syndrome, what are we actually defining? Most people probably think, stiff neck, maybe sore wrists from typing, but looking through the material, it's clearly broader than that. How would you nail it down simply?
Right. Well, fundamentally, it's a group, a collection, really, of painful symptoms. These affect your muscles and your fascia. That's like the connective tissue, the
Mhm.
sort of web around muscles and bones. Often it involves pain, maybe numbness coming from inflammation in those tissues, the tendons. And what's really striking, like you said, from the sources, is that it's not random. It mainly hits working age people, people who sit a lot, use computers constantly, or, always looking down at their phones. It's pretty much a direct result of how we live and work now, more sitting, less moving.
So it's tied directly to our modern habits. And the main culprits, when you dig in, they seem quite straightforward. Your sources flagged three big ones. First, just using the same muscles over and over, repetitive use, like nonstop typing or using the mouse without changing how you sit. Second, bad posture. That's the one most people probably know. Slouching, crossing legs, head bent down. And the third one, maybe overlooked sometimes, is just not taking enough breaks, lack of rest.
Spot on.
Yeah.
And the mechanism behind it, how it actually happens in the body, is quite revealing. See, when you use muscles repetitively like that, they either stay contracted or stretched in one fixed way for too long. This leads to injury, or what we feel is those really annoying muscle knots, trigger points technically. And they can be incredibly sore. And what's fascinating here, and this is key, is how these knots, these seemingly small points of pain, aren't isolated. They can be deeply connected across your body through those fascial networks we mentioned. So tension in your shoulder, it can actually pull and cause pain somewhere else entirely. It spreads, leading to that feeling of widespread discomfort. Your body really is one connected system.
Yeah, when I saw the list of symptoms from your sources, I was, well, genuinely taken aback. We just think stiff neck, right? But office syndrome apparently casts a much, much wider net. What are some of those maybe less obvious signs we should be aware of?
You're right, it's way broader. We can sort of group them. First, the obvious ones. Muscle and bone symptoms, aching, neck, shoulders, upper back, between the shoulder blades, lower back, even hips. That back pain is often directly from sitting or standing poorly. And then tendon inflammation, that means swelling, soreness. Common spots are shoulders, elbows, ankles, knees,
Okay.
wrists.
Okay, so beyond the main muscles and bones.
Yep. Then you've got hand and wrist symptoms, things like carpal tunnel syndrome. That's when tissue in the wrist presses on nerves. And trigger finger, where tendons in your fingers get inflamed from too much repetitive use, clicking, locking.
Right. Any others?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Eye symptoms are common too, often missed.
Yeah.
Dry eyes because you're staring at a screen, not blinking enough so the tear glands don't work properly. And just general eye strain from looking at screens for ages without a break.
Wow. Okay, eyes too.
And finally, head symptoms. Headaches, often stemming from those tight neck and shoulder muscles restricting blood flow. And sometimes it can even trigger migraines in people prone to them. It's all potentially linked.
That's quite a list. So if you're feeling some of these things, what specifically about the pain should make you think, maybe this is office syndrome? What should you look out for when you're checking in with your body?
Good question. Okay, things to watch for. Pain that starts kind of mild but then gets progressively worse, more severe over time. Pain that aches and maybe radiates, spreads out to other areas. It might come and go, be intermittent, or it could be there pretty much constantly. Sometimes because the discomfort is so widespread, you might find it hard to pinpoint exactly where it hurts most. And definitely don't ignore tingling, numbness, or any kind of shooting sensations. Those are significant flags.
Right. So what does this all mean for you, the listener, and your body? It means the problem areas aren't just your neck and shoulders. We're talking upper body. Head, eyes, neck, shoulders, shoulder blades, even down to your fingers, wrists, elbows, your back, the spine itself, the muscles supporting it, and your lower body too. Hips, thighs, knees, ankles. It really can be a full body issue.
That's a crucial takeaway, I think. So who's most likely to get this? The source is really connected to daily life, and maybe it's not just the people you'd immediately think of. Who are the main risk groups?
Well, the biggest group, like you mentioned, is people doing similar things continuously for, say, at least 6 hours a day. So yeah, definitely office workers staring at screens. But also sales staff who stand all day, drivers sitting for hours. A really key indicator the sources mentioned is feeling that pain during work, but it gets noticeably better on your days off.
That's a big clue, definitely. But it's broader than just the job task itself.
Mm.
Other risk factors include the work environment. Maybe a crowded office, poor airflow, desks or chairs that just don't fit you properly. That all contributes. Also, having very little rest time, or none at all. High levels of work stress, too. That makes everything worse. And people who already have some chronic pain, maybe intermittent or radiating pain, are more susceptible. Plus, of course, individuals who just don't move much or exercise regularly. Sedentary lifestyle is a big factor.
Okay, that mostly makes sense. But here's something from the sources that made me pause. What about people whose jobs require physical exertion? Or athletes, people who play sports regularly? My first thought was, surely they're less likely to get office syndrome. What's the deal there?
Yeah, that's a great point. And it does seem a bit backward at first glance, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But the insight here, the really interesting thing, is that repetitive strain is still the issue. It just looks different. Think about an athlete, maybe a tennis player with their swing, or a baseball pitcher. They do the same motion thousands upon thousands of times.
Right, over and over.
Exactly. And that repetitive exertion, if it's not balanced with proper rest, proper recovery conditioning, it can cause muscle imbalances. It can lead to overuse injuries, chronic pain patterns. And these actually share a lot of similarities with what desk workers experience. So the cause might look different hitting a ball versus typing, but the underlying mechanism of repetitive strain causing muscle and fascial pain that can absolutely put them at risk too, even if they're very physically active.
Ah, okay. So it's the repetition, not just sitting still. That makes sense. So let's shift gears. We know what it is, who gets it, how do we tackle it? Let's start with the quick fixes, the short-term relief people often look for first when they're hurting.
Right. For that immediate help, the sources suggest muscle stretching, doing it periodically through the day, focus on both upper and lower body, especially anywhere that feels sore or tight. Then things like massage, maybe warm compresses. You can use pain relief creams, those gel patches that can help relax the muscles. And of course, taking pain medication if you need it, but always appropriately and, following medical advice.
Crucial for getting through the day sometimes. But connecting this to the bigger picture, like the source's stress, lasting change, comes from hitting the root causes, right? What does that longer-term approach involve?
Exactly. Sustainable change really focuses on two main things. One, adjusting your behavior and your environment. And two, getting regular exercise. So for behavior and environment, think about proper posture. Sit up straight, back supported. Screen at eye level, super important so you're not craning your neck up or down. Try not to hunch your shoulders up while you work. And choosing desks and chairs that actually fit your body, that can make a huge difference. And then crucially, those rest periods. Schedule them in. Every couple of hours, maybe even sooner if you can, get up, move around, do some simple stretches or relaxation exercises. Change positions often. Don't just stay locked in one pose.
Okay, but take regular breaks, easier said than done sometimes, right? Back-to-back meetings, deadlines. What's the absolute minimum someone could do if they're totally slammed but want to make some difference?
That's a very real-world question. Look, even micro breaks help. We're talking 1 minute. Just stand up. Stretch your arms overhead. Gently rotate your neck. Roll your shoulders. Anything to just interrupt that static posture, break the cycle of strain. Even that brief interruption helps reset things.
Okay, good to know. Even a minute counts. What about the exercise part?
Right. Exercise is key, and it's got a few layers. First, cardio. Things like running, swimming, cycling. Great for blood circulation. Strengthens muscles generally. Helps keep tendons and joints from getting stiff. Second, muscle building. You want to strengthen the muscles used for movement, rotation, bending, extending. And specifically, pay attention to your core muscles. Things like Pilates are excellent for this. A strong core helps protect your spine from injury. And third, stretching. Regular stretching across different muscle groups helps maintain normal joint movement, reduces that built-up tension and fatigue.
So practical steps you can actually build into your routine. Being more conscious about your workspace, your body, throughout the day. But let's be real. Sometimes even doing all that doesn't quite cut it. So what happens if the symptoms just stick around or even get worse? When is it really time to call the doctor?
Yeah, that's important. The sources are pretty clear on the red flags for seeking professional medical help. Definitely go see a doctor if you've got severe symptoms that just aren't getting better, even after trying to change your habits. If the pain becomes chronic, meaning it's there long term, if it's so bad it's stopping you from sleeping properly, or you literally can't work because of it. Also, any weakness developing in your arms or legs that needs checking out immediately. Or even if you just suspect something else might be going on, some other underlying condition causing the pain, get it checked. Which, raises an important question. That's the actual danger here if you don't address it?
Right, that's the flip side. While office syndrome itself might not sound life-threatening, the impact on your life quality and the potential for things to get serious, well, it means you shouldn't just ignore it. Your sources detailed some pretty concerning long-term problems if it's left untreated or you don't make those behavioral changes.
Absolutely. There can be dangerous complications down the line. We're talking things like a disc herniation, where a spinal disc bulges out and presses on nerves. That can cause intense pain, numbness, weakness, or a slip disc. Spinal curvature can develop over time from poor posture. Chronic migraine disease can actually become a complication directly linked to this ongoing muscle tension. And as I mentioned, persistent weakness in your arms or legs. These aren't minor things. They can seriously impact your ability to move, to function day to day.
Yeah, exactly. So the core message really is, while it might start as just discomfort, office syndrome can spread. It can affect other muscles, bones. The longer you leave it, the more problematic it tends to become. It really can significantly impact your work, your daily activities, even your mental health. It's like a silent epidemic in some ways, isn't it? But one you absolutely have some power to influence. So let's quickly recap our deep dive today. Office syndrome. It's a modern reality. It's here. The symptoms are way more varied and widespread than you might think. And the best long-term fix involves tackling those root causes, changing habits, tweaking your lifestyle.
Yeah, so our final recommendations really boil down to this. Start with you. Actively work on your posture. Get enough rest. Make stretching and exercise a consistent part of your routine, not just an afterthought. Set up your workspace properly. Make it ergonomic. Find ways to manage work stress. And please, don't hesitate to see a doctor if things are severe or just not improving.
So here's something to think about as we wrap up. Consider how even really small, consistent tweaks to your posture, how you move throughout your day, how that can not only ease your discomfort now, but maybe fundamentally change your physical well-being for the long haul. From everything we've talked about today, what's the one change you are going to implement starting right now?